Hi, I'm KC Esper. I'm the managing editor of American Healthcare Leader, and today I'm excited to be sitting down with Dan Buettner. Dan is a National Geographic Fellow, a three-time Guinness World Record winner, a New York Times bestselling author, and the founder of Blue Zones, which is an organization that uses lessons learned from the world's longest-lived populations to help create sustainable change in environments around the US and enable healthier lives. You can read an in-depth piece about Dan and Blue Zones at ahl.com, but today we're going to talk about Dan's journeys and philosophies and the future of the project. So, you ready to jump in, Dan?
I'm ready.
Cool. So, give us a little bit of a look at your mindset as you're traveling to these places. What are you finding? What are you looking for? And what are you most inspired by?
Well, I already know that these places are statistically longest lived. So there's something happening that's not genetic. There's only about 20% of how long you live is genes, the other 80% is something else. I am looking for that 80%. And I'm usually looking for clues in their history. I'm looking for clues in what doctors who attend to centenarians are seeing. I'm looking for clues in their diet over time, so dietary surveys, a meta-analysis. I'm often looking in cues of their culture or their geography that explains, in many cases, life expectancy of 7 or 8 years greater than we have in the United States. And these, by the way, are years relatively free of chronic disease.
So, as you were traveling, you were kind of finding these common denominators, and you found everything from eating well helps you live longer, having a solid foundational community helps you live longer, and you're taking those denominators and injecting them into other places around the U.S. What's your starting point there? What are you finding that is easily attainable by a community or something that people can grasp onto well?
Well, first, I have to make sure that they'll embrace the central tenet. In blue zones, people aren't living a long time because they have better discipline or more individual health responsibility. They're living longer because they live in an environment where the healthy choice is the easy or unavoidable choice. So when I'm going into a city, I'm looking for them to reshape their surroundings, set up nudges and defaults so people are nudged into eating better, moving more, socializing more in a healthy way, and then knowing and living their purpose, usually through volunteerism. So the low hanging fruit in every case is to get the mayor and the city council and the other stakeholders on board around built environment policies and then policies that favor healthy food over junk food. And in many cases, these policymakers at the municipal level don't even realize that there are evidence based policies that have worked elsewhere that are easy to implement. And sometimes it's just bringing them the policy and then the language. It's adopted quickly and it immediately impacts the entire population.
And obviously, you're trying to come from an outsider from the community and coming in to make this kind of sustainable change. But you've recently sort of passed the torch to a health system to perpetuate that change internally as well. So now that you've kind of passed that torch, that Blue Zones torch to Adventist Health in California, what are you hoping will come of that? And what do you think? Why do you think that's so important from a population health standpoint?
So yeah, so passed it to Adventist Health about a year ago, and the reason is, I'm an explorer and an innovator, but I'm not necessarily an operator. And we got to the point where we had about 200 employees in 50 some cities, and it just outstripped my ability and really what I'm best at. So to pass it on to Adventists, first of all, they're very disciplined operators. They run hospitals and they run them well. So this is you can apply that same rigor to this population health work, but also at the end of the day, we still need to, even though this is sort of preventative health, it works best when it's integrated into a holistic plan to not only keep populations healthy but also treat them when they're not so when they get sick. Most hospitals are in the business of treating sick people. They're not in the business of keeping people out of beds. And Adventist Health is unique, I believe, in its mission to keep people out of the beds, which is counterintuitive. But once they're in the bed, they're understood better, and B, after they get sent back into the community, they're sent back into the community that's less likely to perpetuate the problem and more likely to cure it.
To me, that seems like the future of healthcare, and it gives me a lot of hope. Thank you so much for talking to us today. It was fun to get your perspective, and I'm thankful for you being here.
Well, thank you for highlighting this work, and you guys have a great publication. I'm very proud to be part of it. Look forward to subscribing for many years.
Awesome, awesome. All right, bye, Dan.